How's it going? So basically, I want to talk about a technique that has worked really well for me, and it's about reaching your maximum potential. Yeah. So I'll give you an example. You cannot really compare yourself to other people because every single person is different, and your potential, your how fast you learn, the progress you're making will vary completely differently depending on the person, depending what you're studying, right? So how do you actually never measure yourself against other people, but instead like there is technique that say people every day in every way you get better and better. So how do you make sure that you're always working towards your potential without really comparing yourself to other people, right? So this is something I'm going to show you how to do, and it's very easy, and it's very, very easy, and it's very motivating. The most important thing is it really motivates you to go forward. So learn it, use it wisely, okay? So the technique is very simple. It's work towards equal or better than your average every day. Okay. So if you can measure it, you can improve it. Yeah. Okay. So the first thing, the most important thing in here is average of your day. So the first thing you need to do is you need to figure out how do you measure your productivity per day and what type of units you're going to be using. All right. So I'm using, if you look in here, I'm using how many hours per day am I learning to code? And I'm talking about really, really focused hours. I'm not talking about where you're kind of have your timer up and you're watching Facebook for half of the time and then you decide to do programming. I'm talking about when I have my timer running, right? It is 100% full focus on. I'm only doing what I'm supposed to do. If I want to do something else, I pause it. I pause the timer, right? So in here, you see, I can measure how many hours per day of focused coding hours I'm doing, right? So the next thing I need to do is I need to measure myself. Am I winning? Am I losing, right? So the technique is if I'm doing more than this number here per day, so if I do today 5, that's a win for me because that is bigger than my average. So every day you get up and you try to do either average or above, average or above, and this will kind of track whether you're winning or losing, right? This technique is a lot better than me. Like I used to have a technique where I would set 8 hours like this every single day, and then um, I would measure how well I did relative to my benchmark, right? So I mean, 4 hours divided by 8, that's like 50%, right? So that wasn't very motivating. You see, when you set a target that is extremely high, I mean, 8 hours of pure focus per day is really difficult. I mean, extremely difficult. What happens to your brain is that your brain will start accumulating resources and figuring out ways how to do it. And this can take months, right? Before you even start doing it, before you even start doing 4 hours because the target is so overwhelming, your brain is just too demoralized to do it. Like I found myself, oh my god, I gotta do another 6 hours. Okay, before I do 6 hours, I gotta watch some on YouTube, get my mind off it because it's gonna be hell after that, right? So it does not work. As you can see, like this is my last week's result. It just doesn't work. I actually never hit 8 hours. The maximum I've ever done was 7.5. So now I'm thinking to myself, okay, what if I do better than average every single day? And that's the way I used to play. Well, I used to play League of Legends, right? So where's my League of Legends trainer? There you go, right? I'm almost diamond in League of Legends, right? So what I did was I would play games, right? I would play games. This is the length of game, and in here, this is how many mistakes I have made. And then what you do is you divide number of mistakes by the game length, and this will give you how many mistakes per minute on average are you making. So if you're making less than this, you're winning. If you're making more than this, you're downgrading. You're not improving. Okay? So it's the same system in here. You have your key performance indicator. For me, that's focused hours. And every day, if you are doing more than this, you're improving. If you're doing less, you're downgrading. And the goal every day is just to do better than the previous day. And eventually, I think I'll be able to reach 8 hours. Okay? But the most important thing, I think, is do not compare yourself to other people, because then you're gonna get demoralized. Especially there's so much marketing bullshit out there right now, like people like Gary Vaynerchuk or Grant Cardone. They tell you they work 100 hours per week, and they sleep like 6 hours. If you look at science, that's just mathematically impossible, right? You cannot work 100 hours. I'm talking about pure focus where you're making progress and sleep 6 hours. 6 hours and you work 100 hours productively, impossible. Nobody can do that. Humans just genetically cannot do it, right? So, right? But why do they do that? I'll actually address that in a different video, okay? So let's sum it up, right? So first thing you do is you need to figure out your key performance indicator, okay? So a key performance indicator could be hours, could be number of things you do, right? And then you track it every single day, you average it out, and your goal is to do better than your average, equal or better than your average every single day. Okay, take care. Bye bye.